Hey guys, how is everybody today? So in today's video, I wanted to talk to you all about really the quality of your internal core values. And what that essentially means is your mindset, right? The quality of your mindset. And this video came about because I was just talking with one of my staff members who is an aspiring entrepreneur as well. And she's working with me really to build, experience as an entrepreneur. And eventually I'll support her in going out into her own businesses and into the world. And so quite often I just mentor her on things, and we're just having a discussion about the two different types of people in the entrepreneurial world. And guys, look, I don't know everything, but I've been in this business for 25 years. So I've seen a hell of a lot, right? And I've made a lot of observations, especially when it comes to people, because I've studied psychology in the past, and I tend to just sit back and observe things. So what I've discovered over the years is there's two real different types of people in the entrepreneurial world. There's the ones who actually really aren't entrepreneurs at all, and they hold this deep scarcity mindset. And then there's the entrepreneurs, right? The people willing to risk it all if you can show them that there's at least a potential for a return. Okay. And the people over here who are actually not really entrepreneurial at all, and they have this scarcity mindset, they will hold on to their last red cent, until their fingers bleed. They will not let that go no matter what. It's like their comfort blanket. And that's really detrimental to an entrepreneur's mindset. Now, it's not these people's fault, because they've watched all the motivational videos, they've seen all the gurus on YouTube, they're being told how easy it is, but they're just not actually really entrepreneurs, right? They long for the romance of what it could become, but they're not willing to risk it all to get that romance, if you know what I mean, right? So on the other side of things, there's the actual people that were just born entrepreneurs. And of course it can happen over time, right? Especially as you take more risks and you realize that risk isn't really that risky, right? So there's a possibility you'll lose it all. And I've lost it all over and over again. And I'll tell you one thing, guys, when I lose it all, if it was in the pursuit of that romantic gesture at the end of that tunnel, right? That tunnel of the journey to entrepreneurship, if there was at least a chance and I lost it all, and this has happened multiple times, so I know it to be true for myself, I will smile when my bank account goes to zero, and I will move on to thinking about how can I build this bank account back up to try something different, or to pivot, or take a different journey this time. It's happened over and over again, and I'll tell you a precise story in a moment about that. So that's really the people on that side, right? The side where they are literally entrepreneurs. They're willing to risk it all. It's a calculated risk, of course, but they are prepared to lose every cent in their bank account to go down to zero and start over again. And they'll happily do that. There's a big difference, right, between just spending money and wasting it and being upset that you're now broke, because this happens, and I've done it. Right? We're all human beings. We've done it. And you feel crap after it, right? Just say, for example, when I was younger, I would maybe have like $1,500 in my bank account. I would go out for a night out. I've worked hard in a job or whatever to get that money. And I wake up the next morning and I've got $40 left, right? And it just feels terrible. Like, what a waste. All those days working, weeks working, months working to save that money up, and it was just wasted. The same thing when you have an addiction to online shopping, or not even an addiction, but it's just something that you do, and then you turn around and your bank account's low and you're waiting for your next bank check, your next paycheck. So there's a big difference between actually like spending your money and feeling bad about it, and spending your money on the pursuit of that romantic gesture at the end of that tunnel, right? That entrepreneurship, and losing it all and being happy about it, right? You really have to have that sort of mindset. If you don't have that internal core value system that revolves around that type of mindset, you're going to struggle immensely as an entrepreneur, because that's what it does require. It requires you to be willing to lose everything with a smile, pick yourself up and start over again. I know that sounds crazy, right? But it's the truth. And I know I know hundreds, literally hundreds of entrepreneurs who've been in that exact situation over and over and over again. They're still smiling, even the ones that haven't made it yet, right? Because they know if they just keep trying, if there's even the slightest chance that this next venture that they go on is going to propel them, into becoming a true entrepreneur and making money and running a business and hiring staff and really giving to the community, right? They're going to do it over and over and over again with a smile, right? But then on the other side of things, again, guys, the scarcity mindset, people that are just in love with the romantic gesture of becoming an entrepreneur. Gesture is probably the wrong word, but you guys know what I mean. They want to hold on to their money. They will hold it until their fingers bleed, right? They would be so devastated if they tried a venture and it failed on them and they weren't able to recoup that money. But guys, like I said before, the money always returns. You're never in a situation, you might have $0 bills to pay and debt you're in. I've been there, right? And you sort of think, where's my next meal coming from? And it gets tough. It gets damn tough. But if you've spent that money in the pursuit of something better, then you can only be proud of yourself. Even if that pursuit failed in that certain instance. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you the story. It's just one time. I have multiple stories of when I've emptied my bank account in the pursuit of something better. This was many, 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 many years ago. And I think I got involved. I can't remember how I got involved, but I got involved in affiliate marketing. And so I thought to myself, you know what? I need to work with somebody who knows what they're doing. This was the first time I'd really got involved in affiliate marketing that was outside of SEO and organic rankings. So I really had no idea. So I found somebody who had a coaching program, and I won't name names, but he's one of the top affiliates in the world. And I think it cost something like $1,700 to get into that program. At the time, I only had, what did I have? About $3,500 in the bank, and I had a t-shirt printer. I hadn't even built my t-shirt company yet. I had a t-shirt printer, right? And that's all I had. About $3,500 in the bank and a t-shirt printer. I essentially spent $2,000 on getting into this program, right? So once I'm in, I realized that there's a hell of a lot of ads, and ads are super expensive. So I went to work. I'm not silly. I understand the concept of strategy, structure, and how to build these things. So I went ahead and took his training. I understood how to run ads really well. I understood the psychology behind them, how to create the video content, all of that stuff. So I thought, okay, I have a good chance at this. Then I ran ads, and I realized that my last $1,500, it was gone in like 3 days. And and I did not even break even. Like it was intense. And so I'm like, okay, I'm broke, and I've just bought this program. I can't implement it because I don't have any more money to run ads, and it literally revolves around ads. And I realized that Facebook ads, man, they can just suck up so much money like overnight. So here I am, broke with a t-shirt printer, and didn't know where I was going to get our next meal from. I had my children and everything. It was back in the early days. And I decided, well, I'm going to fire up that t-shirt printer, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to try to get some jobs. And so what I did was I figured out how to work the t-shirt printer, and I tell you what a mission that was, guys. I think it took me about 2 weeks to figure out this thing and all the ink systems and everything. Like, it was just unbelievable. And then I thought, okay, now I need to get work. So I went to the local markets here, and I looked for local brands, right, in the market selling printed t-shirts. And I just went around and introduced myself to everybody and gave them a card, right, that I got on Vistaprint. And by the end of that week, one of them called me back, and he's like, hey Dan, can you do 1,000 t-shirts? And he's like, I need them. I'm going to a shop. This guy just does pop-up markets and stuff all around, right? And I'm like, whoa, 1,000 t-shirts. I didn't even have suppliers, but I'm like, yeah, I can do that. And so I got to work to figure out suppliers, get the t-shirts delivered to me, get inks. Like, I didn't even really have enough ink and different pre-treatments and all of that stuff. I needed to figure out how to do the spray bottles to spray the pre-treat on the t-shirts and all of this stuff. And guys, by the end of that week, I had another $3,500 in my bank account. Okay, so for anyone to say that, you know, when you're fully broke, there's no way out of it, there's always a damn way out of it. Not everyone has a t-shirt printer, right? But there's been millions of other times in my life where I didn't have a t-shirt printer and I still got my way out of it. If there's a will, there's a way. And that saying is so true. So I guess the message behind this video is, oh, by the way, guys, I put that next $3,500 into Facebook ads and that failed as well. So there's more to that story, and I grew income again and tried something else and grew. And every time, I tell you what, literally every single time my bank account hit zero, I wasn't sad. I wasn't upset at all. I wasn't even afraid. I was just like, okay, how can I recoup some of this cash? And I figured out a way to do it. That's what entrepreneurs do, right? You can't have that scarcity mindset, because if you do empty your bank account in the pursuit of something better, you should only be proud of yourself. But the moment you get down on yourself at that stage, that's when you quit, right? And if that's how it is for you, the brutal truth, you need to stay in your 9 to 5. Like, I'm sorry guys, but it's so true. Not everyone was cut out for this. It's just the truth. Now, there are other businesses like my publishing business where you don't need, you know, any money to put into it to make it work, right? So there are those options. But I mean, it's a little bit funny with that as well, because you tend to, you know, if that's one of the things that you base your buying journey on, right? If you base it on like, oh, I want to do this program because I don't need to spend anything, then you're buying into the program with a scarcity mindset. And you are possibly one of those people that I'm talking about, right? That wants to hold on to their money. And none of us want to lose our money. But the reality of it is, if you're in the entrepreneurial game, you're going to lose your money. And it's going to happen multiple times. So you need to have that different, you know, internal fortitude, just a different system inside of your brain operating to the general public, because majority of the general public are these people holding on to their money. And we are the guys over here saying we're different, right? I'm willing to put every last cent into a venture and fail happy because I tried to propel myself forward. Right? There's a big difference in this mindset. Huge difference. I'm sure you guys can see it, right? So, yeah. So, look, the whole concept of this video is based around just trying to help you guys out. I want people to understand that not everyone is cut out to be an entrepreneur. It can be learned, and it can be learned through hardship. But if you don't feel like you can take hardship, if you don't feel like you could probably lose it all and start over and lose it all and start over and do that without falling into a deep depression, then you got to do what's best for you, right? If you don't feel like that you're that person that could do that, then being an entrepreneur is not best for you. It's not best for you mentally. It's not best for your family, right? It's just not best for your entire situation. But if you're somebody that could have that happen and it just roll off your back because you knew that you're in the pursuit of something better and you're never going to quit no matter what. So there's no point getting down about, you know, your bank account being empty this day, because that day it's not going to be. And we all know that. This is what money is created for. It turns around and around. It's exchanged for value all the time. Money was never created to be held like this in a bank. It does nothing for you there. It's a tool. It's an instrument. So I know, you know, like, that whole working life culture that's taught in schools and everything in the Western world, it really breeds that into people. And I don't think I ever really thought that way. You know, I started at a very young age selling things and trying to make money for myself, and didn't even know what tax was, but it didn't matter. I was, you know, out hustling. But I understand how people can get into that mindset and fall into that trap and believe they must hold their money, they must save their money. No one ever got wealthy and really changed their lives for the better holding on to their money. That's just the reality of it, right? So I just want to help people understand, if you are in this world or thinking about, this is more for the newbies, right? Because people who are entrepreneurs on a certain level where they've lost it before and regained it, happens to us all. You sort of think on a different level. It's different, right? It's different. You're over here. But more for the newbies, you need to understand that this is going to be a very difficult journey. It's full of hardship. And if you can't face hardship with a smile, like if you don't have that stoic nature, then it's going to be very extremely difficult for you. And it's probably not the best route, to be honest, for you. But if you're somebody who believes that there can be more, and you are willing to sacrifice it all over and over again, right? It might not happen. You're going to lose everything once, at least, as an entrepreneur, right? Some people learn quicker than others. I didn't learn that quick. I lost everything over and over and over again for many, 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 many years. But I never quit. I was always that person that could just lose it with a smile on my face. If you're that type of person and you're feeling like you want to step into the entrepreneurial world, then it is the right world for you. And you should absolutely come into any business model. Doesn't matter, whatever you choose, ready and willing to lose everything to make that work for you. Yeah. All right, guys, if anyone has any questions about this one, because I know it's a little bit hard to hear some of this stuff, and it's a little bit different to what you would normally probably see on YouTube or on Facebook or wherever you're watching this. Everyone telling you how easy life is as an entrepreneur and how you can get this too and all of this stuff. I do have a program. I am a coach, and I can help you achieve this life. But I will never for a second tell you it's going to be easy. I'll never for a second even tell you that anyone can do this, because they can't, right? It requires commitment. It requires sacrifice. It requires ambition. And it requires you to be able to lose everything with a smile. That's just business, right? Anyway, guys, I hope this helped. But if you do have any questions about this, drop them in the comments. If you are interested in my program, there should be a link in the comments as well. Just jump on that. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, just reach out in the comments and I will reach out to you. All right, guys, you'll have a good day.